Maya's fingers trembled as she pressed the damp cloth against her daughter's forehead. 104.3 degrees. The number glowed red on the thermometer like a warning she couldn't ignore. "Mama, I'm cold," Lily whimpered, though her 6-year-old body burned like a furnace beneath the thin blanket. "I know, baby, I know." Maya's voice cracked. The empty medicine bottle mocked her from the nightstand. She'd given Lily the last dose 3 hours ago. Nothing was working. She grabbed her phone. 2:47 a.m. $12 in her checking account. No car. The urgent care clinic 15 blocks away might as well have been in another state. Maya scrolled to Marcus's name, Lily's father, her ex-boyfriend who'd promised to help with emergencies. Her thumb hovered over the call button. The phone rang 6 times before going to voicemail. She tried again. Voicemail. 3rd time. Straight to voicemail. "Damn you, Marcus!" She wanted to scream, but Lily stirred, and Maya swallowed the rage burning in her throat. Her hands shook as she opened her messages, scrolling frantically through recent conversations. There. M. Reed. Marcus's work number. He'd made her save it months ago, said it was important. Her fingers flew across the screen. Marcus. Lily's burning up. 104 fever. Need $50 for urgent care. Please, I'm begging you. She hit send and her phone immediately died. The screen went black. Maya wanted to throw it across the room. Instead, she pressed it against her forehead and tried not to cry. Lily needed her calm. Lily needed her strong. Lily needed medicine she couldn't afford. "Please," Maya whispered into the darkness. "Please let him answer." 12 minutes passed like 12 hours. Maya rocked Lily, singing softly, feeling her daughter's skin burn against her chest. Then someone knocked. Maya froze. Nobody knocked at 3 a.m. Nobody except another knock. Firm. Insistent. She carried Lily to the door, looked through the peephole and saw a man in an expensive dark suit holding a leather medical bag. Asian, maybe 50, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. "Who are you?" Maya called through the door. "Dr. Chen. Mr. Sokolov sent me. Your daughter needs medical attention." "I don't know any Sokolov." "You texted him 13 minutes ago." "Please, Miss Collins, let me help your daughter." Maya's mind raced. She'd texted Marcus, but Lily's fever was spiking and this stranger had a medical bag and kind eyes, and maybe, just maybe, God had answered her prayer in the strangest possible way. She opened the door. Dr. Chen moved with quiet efficiency, asking questions while his hands examined Lily with practiced gentleness. Temperature, throat, lymph nodes. He pulled instruments from his bag, worked in silence, then finally looked up at Maya. "Strep throat. Severe, but treatable. I'm giving her an antibiotic injection now, and leaving oral antibiotics for the next 10 days. He prepared a syringe. She'll feel better within hours. Maya watched him administer the shot, watched him leave bottles of medicine on her nightstand, watched him pack his bag with the same calm precision he'd shown arriving. "How much do I owe you?" Dr. Chen smiled. "Mr. Sokolov's patients don't pay." He moved toward the door, then paused. "He'll contact you in the morning. Keep your door locked until then." "Wait. Who is he? Why did he send you?" But Dr. Chen was already gone, disappearing down the hallway like he'd never existed at all. Maya locked the door with shaking hands. She checked on Lily, who was already sleeping more peacefully, her breathing less labored. Then Maya collapsed on the couch, her phone still dead beside her, and tried to make sense of what just happened. When sunlight finally crept through the blinds, Maya woke to Lily sitting up in bed, asking for breakfast. The fever had broken. The miracle medicine had worked. Maya was scrambling eggs when someone knocked again. She looked through the peephole and saw 2 men in dark suits flanking the door like sentries. Between them stood a third man who made her breath catch. Tall. Maybe 6'2". Sharp jawline, dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from marble. His suit probably cost more than her yearly rent, but it was his eyes that made her hesitate. Cold and assessing, the eyes of someone who saw everything and revealed nothing. "Miss Collins." His voice carried through the door, accented but clear. Russian, maybe. "My name is Viktor Sokolov. We need to talk about the message you sent me last night." Maya's stomach dropped. This was the man who'd sent Dr. Chen. This was the man whose number she'd somehow texted instead of Marcus's. And he was standing at her door with bodyguards like something out of a movie she'd never wanted to be in. She opened the door because what choice did she have? Victor stepped inside, his guards remaining in the hallway. He glanced around her tiny apartment, taking in the second-hand furniture, the toys scattered across the floor, Lily's drawings taped to the walls, and something flickered across his face. Not quite pity, something harder. "Thank you," Maya said, because manners felt important when facing down a stranger who'd sent a private doctor at 3 in the morning. "For Dr. Chen. For the medicine." Lily's fever broke. "I don't know how to repay you, but I'll find a way." "You texted me by mistake." Victor's voice cut through her rambling. "You meant to reach Marcus Reed." Maya's blood went cold. "You know Marcus?" "He worked for me. Transportation and logistics." Victor moved to her window, looking down at the street below like he was searching for something. "3 weeks ago, Marcus stole $200,000 from one of my shipments. He disappeared. His phone is off. His apartment is empty. And now you've contacted me, begging for help." "I didn't know." Maya's voice rose despite herself. "I haven't seen Marcus in 4 months. He stopped paying child support. He stopped answering calls. I thought that number was his work phone." "It was." Victor turned to face her, and Maya saw something in his expression that made her stomach twist. "It was his phone. I've had it for 2 weeks, waiting to see if anyone would contact him. Waiting to find leverage." Leverage. The word tasted like ash. "Marcus stole from me. He also stole from the Bratva, from the Colombians, from the Italians on the docks. Every criminal organization in New York wants their money back." Victor's voice remained calm, almost gentle, which somehow made it worse. "You and your daughter are leverage, Miss Collins. They will come for you. They will use you to make Marcus surface. And when they're done, they'll dispose of you both, because that's how this world works." Maya's legs gave out. She sat hard on her couch, her mind refusing to process what he was saying. Lily was eating breakfast 10 feet away. Lily, who'd just recovered from a fever. Lily, who was 6 years old and innocent and had nothing to do with her father's crimes. "I don't know where he is," Maya whispered. "I believe you." Victor sat across from her, his movements controlled and precise. "But they won't. The men looking for Marcus won't care about your protests. They'll assume you're lying. They'll hurt your daughter to make you talk." "Oh God." Maya pressed her hands against her mouth, fighting the urge to vomit. "I'm offering you protection." Victor leaned forward, his cold eyes holding hers. "A secure apartment. Security detail. Everything you need to keep your daughter safe while my people locate Marcus." "Why would you help me?" "Because you're a civilian. Because your daughter is innocent. Because I have rules about collateral damage." Victor's jaw tightened. "And because I don't forgive theft. But I don't punish children for their father's sins." Maya wanted to refuse. Every instinct screamed at her to grab Lily and run, to get as far from this dangerous man as possible. But where would she run? She had $12 and no car and men with guns looking for leverage against Marcus. "What do you want in return?" "When we find Marcus, you'll testify about his abandonment. You'll sign documents terminating his parental rights. You'll cooperate with relocating him far from New York." Victor stood, pulling a business card from his pocket. "Think about it. You have 24 hours. Maybe less. He left without waiting for an answer, his guards following like shadows. Maya sat frozen on her couch, the business card clutched in her hand, while Lily sang to herself in the next room. 24 hours. Maybe less. That evening, Maya held Lily's hand as they walked home from the corner store. She'd bought milk and bread with the last of her money, trying to pretend everything was normal, trying to convince herself Victor had exaggerated the danger. Then she saw the black SUV. It rolled down the street behind them, moving too slowly, windows tinted dark. Maya's heart hammered. She squeezed Lily's hand tighter. "Mama, you're hurting me." "Sorry, baby. We need to walk faster." They were half a block from home when two men stepped out of the SUV. Both wore leather jackets and expressions that made Maya's blood freeze. She recognized the look, the same predatory focus she'd seen on men in her old neighborhood. Men who hurt people for money. "Maya Collins?" The taller one smiled, showing gold teeth. "We need to talk about Marcus." Maya grabbed Lily and ran. She heard footsteps pounding behind her, heard the taller man shouting. Maya's lungs burned as she sprinted the final 100 feet to her building, fumbling for her keys, praying they wouldn't catch her before she got inside. She slammed through the lobby door and didn't stop running until she reached her apartment. Her hands shook so badly she dropped her keys twice before getting the door unlocked. She shoved Lily inside and turned every deadbolt, then collapsed against the door. Someone pounded from outside. "You can't hide forever. Marcus owes us money. You're gonna help us find him, or we're gonna make you wish you had." More pounding. The door shuddered in its frame. Lily started crying. Maya pulled out her phone with trembling hands and dialed the number on Victor's card. He answered on the first ring. "Yes? They're here, at my door, please." "Address?" 318 Morrison, apartment 2C. "Don't open the door. 6 minutes." The line went dead. The pounding stopped. Maya heard muffled voices in the hallway, then footsteps retreating. She crept to the peephole and saw the two men leaving, glancing nervously over their shoulders. 5 minutes later, Victor arrived. This time he had 4 guards, all carrying weapons they didn't bother hiding. Victor's expression was harder than before, his cold eyes assessing the hallway like he was memorizing every detail. "Pack a bag," he said. 5 minutes. Essentials only. You're coming with me now." Maya wanted to argue, wanted to insist she could handle this herself. But Lily was still crying, and the pounding still echoed in her ears, and she was so tired of being brave when brave wasn't working. She packed. Victor's estate existed in a different world. Maya stared out the car window as they drove through gates that opened automatically, past security checkpoints with armed guards, toward a massive house that looked like something from a magazine. She couldn't reconcile this place with her cramped apartment, couldn't process how her life had shifted so completely in less than 24 hours. "The guest house is yours," Victor said as they pulled up. 2 bedrooms, full kitchen, security system. "My guards patrol the grounds 24 hours. You won't be disturbed." The guest house was bigger than her entire apartment. Lily ran from room to room, exclaiming over the big TV and the bathtub and the princess bed in her room. Maya stood in the center of the living room and tried not to cry from sheer overwhelm. "Thank you," she managed. Victor nodded. "Dinner is at 7. I eat alone, but the kitchen will send food to you here. Anything you need, use the intercom." He moved toward the door, then paused. "You're safe here, Ms. Collins. I promise you that." The next few days blurred together in surreal normalcy. Maya explored the guest house, cooked meals in the massive kitchen, watched Lily play in the fenced yard under the watchful eyes of Victor's guards. It felt like a bizarre vacation, except she couldn't leave, and men with guns stood at every corner. On the 3rd evening, Victor knocked. "I'm having dinner on the terrace. Would you like to join me?" He glanced at Lily, who was watching cartoons. "My housekeeper, Mrs. Park, Loves children. She's offered to sit with Lily while we talk. Maya wanted to refuse, but Mrs. Park appeared with a warm smile and a plate of cookies, and Lily took to her immediately. Before Maya could think of an excuse, she found herself following Victor to a stone terrace overlooking gardens lit with soft lights. "You're managing my household staff now," Victor said over wine and pasta that tasted better than anything Maya had eaten in years. "Mrs. Park needs help coordinating schedules. The kitchen needs someone to plan menus. I'm rarely home, and the place runs itself poorly in my absence." "You're offering me a job?" "I'm offering you purpose. And payment." Victor met her eyes. "You can't hide forever, Ms. Collins. Eventually, you'll need to build a life. Might as well start now." So Maya started managing schedules, planning menus, coordinating with contractors and gardeners and the small army of people it took to maintain Victor's estate. She discovered she was good at it. Organizing chaos came naturally after years of juggling bills and childcare and survival. And in the evenings, she ate dinner with Victor. He never talked about his work, never mentioned the phone's calls she sometimes overheard, the ones that ended with him speaking rapid Russian in a tone that made her blood run cold. Instead, he asked about Lily's day, about Maya's childhood in Ohio, about the books she'd read and the dreams she'd abandoned when she got pregnant at 19. "You're not what I expected," Maya admitted one evening, 4 days into her strange new life. "What did you expect?" "A monster, I guess. You run a criminal empire. You hurt people." Victor's expression didn't change. "I do. I've killed men who betrayed me. I've ordered executions. I've done things that would make you leave this table and never look back." He paused. "But I have rules, Ms. Collins. I don't harm civilians. I don't traffic in misery. And I don't let children suffer for their parents' mistakes." "That's supposed to make it better?" "No, it's supposed to explain why you're alive." On the 5th day, Victor's head of security knocked on Maya's door at dawn. "We found Marcus Reed. Boss wants you in the main house." Maya's stomach twisted as she followed him across the grounds. Inside, Victor stood in what looked like a study, all dark wood and leather furniture. And in a chair in the center of the room, hands zip-tied, blood dripping from his split lip, sat Marcus. He looked terrible, thinner than Maya remembered, with purple bruises blooming across his face and the wild eyes of someone who knew exactly how much trouble he was in. "Maya!" Marcus lunged forward, but the guard behind him shoved him back down. "Maya, please, you have to tell them I didn't know. I thought it was a sure thing. I was gonna come back, I swear. I just needed time." "You were planning to kidnap Lily." Victor's voice cut through Marcus's babbling. "My men found emails. You were going to take her and flee to Mexico. Use her as leverage if anyone came looking." Maya's vision went red. "You were going to kidnap our daughter?" "I had debts. They were gonna kill me. I needed collateral. She's 6 years old. I wasn't gonna hurt her." Marcus was crying now, snot running down his face. "I just needed insurance. Just needed leverage. You don't understand what these people are like." "I understand perfectly." Maya's voice came out cold and hard, a tone she'd never heard from herself before. She turned to Victor. "You said this was my choice. What are my options?" Victor's expression remained neutral. "I can have him disposed of. Painlessly, if you prefer. Or I can relocate him. New identity, new city, far from New York. He signs away all parental rights and never contacts you again. If he breaks that agreement, he dies." Maya finished the sentence. "Yes." She looked at Marcus. This man she'd once loved. This man who'd given her Lily and then abandoned them both. This man who'd stolen money and endangered their daughter and planned to use a 6-year-old as a bargaining chip. New identity, Portland. I want legal documents terminating his rights filed within a week. Maya's hands clenched into fists. "And if I ever see you again, Marcus, I won't need Victor's help. I'll kill you myself. Marcus sobbed his agreement. Victor nodded to his guards. Make it happen. They dragged Marcus from the room. Maya stood frozen, shaking from adrenaline and rage and something else she couldn't name. Then Victor was there, his hand gentle on her shoulder. You did well, he said quietly. I just sentenced a man to exile. You saved your daughter from a coward. There's no shame in that. 18 months passed in a strange, peaceful blur. Maya managed Victor's household. Lily thrived with tutors and a safe yard to play in. And slowly, without quite meaning to, Maya found herself looking forward to dinners with Victor. She learned he'd grown up in Moscow, the son of a factory worker who died when Victor was 12. Learned he'd built his empire from nothing, through ruthlessness and intelligence, and an iron code of loyalty. Learned that beneath the cold exterior lived a man who donated anonymously to children's hospitals and once spent 3 hours helping Lily build a blanket fort. She watched him teach Lily chess, his patience endless as he explained strategy to a 7-year-old. Watched him smile, really smile, when Lily called him Uncle Vic and demanded he come see her drawings. Watched him look at her, Maya, with something that might have been longing. One evening, Victor asked her to walk in the garden. The night was warm, stars bright overhead, roses blooming along the path. Maya had learned to read Victor's moods by now, and tonight he was nervous. It showed in the set of his shoulders, the way his hands stayed in his pockets. I've never been good with words, Victor said finally. Only actions. So let me tell you what I know through actions. He stopped walking, turned to face her. You came into my life by accident. A wrong number at 3 in the morning. You stayed, because you had no choice. But somewhere along the way, choice became irrelevant. You stayed because you wanted to. Because Lily is safe here. Because you built something here. Victor, I can offer you safety, stability, partnership. His cold eyes held unexpected warmth. If you want more than that, if you want what I've been too afraid to ask for, then I want it too. I want dinners that aren't endings but beginnings. I want Lily calling me something other than uncle. I want you to choose me, not because I'm protection, but because I'm yours. Maya's breath caught. She'd been lying to herself, pretending gratitude and security were all she felt. Pretending she didn't look forward to his rare smiles, pretending her heart didn't race when he looked at her like she mattered. Yes, she whispered. Victor's expression cracked, revealing something vulnerable beneath. Yes. Yes to partnership. Yes to more. Yes to choosing you. Maya stepped closer. You answered my desperate call at 3 in the morning. You protected my daughter. You gave me a life when I had nothing. And somewhere along the way, you became my life. So yes, Victor. To all of it. He kissed her then, gentle and certain, and Maya felt something click into place. This strange, impossible life. This dangerous, careful man. This wrong number that became everything right. 6 months later, Maya stood in a garden full of roses, wearing a simple white dress, while Lily scattered flower petals and Mrs. Park dabbed at her eyes. Victor waited at the end of a short aisle, wearing a dark suit and an expression that was almost peaceful. The ceremony was small, a handful of Victor's most trusted people. No family because Maya had lost touch with hers years ago, and Victor's were all dead. Just them, building something new from the wreckage of their old lives. When they exchanged vows, Victor's voice was steady. You saved me as much as I saved you. And Maya whispered back, wrong number, right answer. As they kissed, as Lily cheered and Mrs. Park cried, Maya thought about that desperate night 18 months ago. The fever, the empty medicine bottle, the text sent to a stranger by mistake. Sometimes the worst moments of your life lead to the best. Sometimes danger brings safety. Sometimes a wrong number at 3 in the morning changes everything. Maya had learned that survival came in unexpected forms, that protection wore a cold face and gentle hands, that love could grow in the darkest soil and bloom into something strong. She'd learned that happy endings weren't always what you expected. But they were real, nonetheless. If this story kept you on the edge of your seat, drop a comment below about what surprised you most. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more intense short stories that explore the unexpected turns life can take. Your support helps me bring you more captivating tales every week.